American dog owners. I'm like, yeah, I am one. I was one. I was one as a child. I was an American dog owner that just had a fenced-in yard, and you just let them out. And I mean, our dogs knew basic commands that I was a child, but if they got out, they'd roll, but they'd come back. And it was a time and a place where people didn't pick your dog up and take him to the pound. They just said hi and petted it, and it just went on its way. Now, people pick your dog up out of your yard and take it. So anyway, we need more, not less, control over our dogs. But it's like there's two types, or maybe three types. Ones that are very serious about dog training, and ones that I think either aren't or don't feel like they're intimidated by it, or frustrated by it when they try. It's very understandable because we lay human psychology on these dogs and think that they're thinking like us because they are so much like us so often in their behavior. But they're not like us. And it reminds me of the Caesar Milan South Park episode where they put him on and he was like, ignore him. And whatever it was, the kid, that he was just like treating him like a dog. But Caesar, what I learned from him years ago, when I didn't own a dog, and I watched him. I watched a lot of it because I wanted to learn, because I knew one day I'd have a dog. And I'm like, man, I got to learn from this guy. And what I learned was people need affection first, then discipline. Dogs need discipline first, then affection. If you give them affection without them being disciplined, they think they're in control. You're not hurting their feelings by withholding affection. And when I first got Georgie, when I got some good control over her, I started slacking on being strict and giving her way more love and affection. And she just straight up quit listening to me. She was just like, whatever, bitch, I'm in control. And I was just like, whoa. I had to backtrack, and I have to do it often because I am not naturally a leader. I'm not naturally a dog leader. I'm not a pack leader, but I have to feign being a pack leader. I have to fake it till I make it. I step into the role as often as I can. It doesn't come naturally. And that's it. And then another thing I want to say, if you miss the window of opportunity when they're infants, those little dogs at weeks old, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, there's critical time periods that dog trainers like Stoney Dennis will tell you about. If you miss it, you missed it. You just friggin' missed it. I mean, we can improve upon certain behaviors, but I'll never be able to trust Georgie in certain situations because I missed it. She was zero socialization skills with other dogs when I got her. Zero. I had to put hundreds of hours into miserable walks where she would attack dogs at the fence. And I'm jerking this Hermsberger. No. I mean, it took a tremendous amount of hourages, to stop this ridiculous behavior. And if a dog is super hyper, she still might, break her heel and go over to see what's going on. But it's not generally really bad anymore. Like, it's not and usually she resists. But now when I'd walk Cookie, if Cookie gets around and then Georgie's like, yeah, fuck this, let's go together and kick this dog's ass. And I don't care what Mom says because her instinct clicks. The energy of those two move like, yeah, pack, kill, we're going to hunt. We're going to hunt. So I will never have perfect control over Georgie. Therefore, I will not take her to certain places off leash. Just because if she runs into if there's no other dog acting like an idiot, everything's fine. But if there's an idiotic dog, she's going to lose her composure. I know what she can and cannot tolerate. But I was surprised that when she got with Cookie, she wanted to. I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised. I should have looked into it more about the pack mentality. And when, Cookie was like, yeah, let's kick this dog's ass, I was like, yeah, all right. Or my own cat. I was terrified for the cat for the longest time, but that seems to be okay. Now, that's because we help the cat protect herself. But anyway, yeah, if you're going to be the kind of person that doesn't teach your dog and you just want a dog as a toy and you're going to let him out in the yard and that's it, don't and have any kind of size to the dog, really, expect these kind of problems. And if they get away, they're going to run because they need to run. I think we don't realize how much work it is to have a dog that you have to work for it. It's hard, and it's hard. It takes dedication, and which I'm not very disciplined. This has been a serious exercise for me in the past 3 years to do this with Georgie. And I've dropped the ball so many times and not worked with her like I should have, and not been more strict on her. And I want to put her on the collar and take her out and, do some more training, but I know her back hurts, so I feel bad for her and blah, 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 blah. But what I need to do is rub that TheraWorks in her back, ice it, give her like a half hour, stretch her, and then say, okay, we're going out. And do that every time so she knows that I know you're in pain, babe. And I'm going to remedy that. I'm going to do the best I can with that. And then we need to get back to work. They want to work. Dogs want to work for their food. If you give them their food without them even working, could mean waiting a minute while the bowl's sitting on the floor without touching it. It makes all the difference in the world as far as whether or not they respect you or whether they think they're in control or you're in control. They will constantly try to take the reins. Constantly. Because that's wolfiness. That's what dogs do, because they have to know that the leader absolutely is in control, and they will push the boundaries constantly, because as soon as you're too weak to do it, they need to be able to do it. That's their nature. And it's a challenge for me, and it's a challenge that I need in my life, and I need to keep pushing myself to do it. And I'm proud of myself for becoming a leader of one dog. It's been an accomplishment for me. It's a commitment. So with all the people that got puppies during the pandemic that are dropping them off, they've been dropping them off left and right all last year at the shelters, all the pit bull mixes, because they don't understand dog psychology. And they're just like, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, if you'd have YouTube is brimming with dog trainers. I think people just don't believe it. They just want, I talked to one lady about a Hermspringer collar, and she's like, oh my God, I can never put that on my dog. But her dog was ripping her shoulders out, breaking windows, I could never do that to my fur baby. Then you can't be helped. Your dog is suffering. See, this is the main thing. You think you're suffering? The dog is suffering more. To be so out of control and have no leadership and not have leadership ability, because not all dogs have it. There's alpha dogs. Not all dogs are alpha. And when you don't lead them, they're out of their minds. Georgie was out of her mind until, through my behavior, I convinced her that I was in control and was the leader. And like I said, she still pushes me. But then when I drop the leadership role enough, she becomes very nervous, very upset. She just becomes like scared of everything. It's very interesting to see it go down. And when I get very strict with her, no, you're going to do this now, and you're going to do that now, and then all of a sudden, she becomes composed again. She needs to know I'm in control, because she can't handle the reins. It scares her. She's not an alpha female. She wants to be. They all want to be, but they're not. I think Cookie is more apt to be an alpha. I think she's a leader, and she could be in time, but she's young yet. I want to train her. I don't know if I can do it, because I think I missed the opportunity, but I'd love nothing more than to get a dog that was like Cesar Millan's daddy. Talk about, you could get all these crazy dogs acting the nuts around daddy, and he'd be like, yeah, no. He didn't allow the hyper dog's energy to turn him on to that energy level. My dog, Georgie, if you're crazy, she's like, hey, let's get crazy. Yeah. Because we missed that opportunity. She had no socialization as an infant, as a young dog, so it was what she's learned, she earned. She earned it, and I'm proud of her, and I'm proud of me. I'm proud of Cookie. Let's go. Let's continue on the quest for Cookie's perfect home, or a good enough home, or a pretty decent home, pretty decent match. That's what we're looking for. We got a guy on tap named Josh. He lost his cat of 22 years recently, and he said a couple months ago, man, if I didn't have this old cat, I'd take that dog. Well, his cat died. It's unfortunate. Our hearts go out to him. He lived a long life, never saw a veterinarian in his life. 22 years. That's how you do it. Sorry, everyone, but I know sometimes we need one, but most of the time you don't. All right. Let's have a great day, YouTube, And yeah, my mind, it's filled with dog teeth and spittle and like screaming, and in the night I'm like